Hi everybody, got to show you something. This is called paradigm paralysis, or a good example of paradigm paralysis in music theory. What is a paradigm? A paradigm is a frame, it's a border, it's a neat little box that you've got a concept or a way of doing things, and you put it in the box and you do that, but you don't know what's outside of the box because you've forgotten. You're so comfortable in your box, in your frame, in your paradigm, that you get paradigm paralysis because it's become easy or it's comfortable. Okay, so this happens in teams. Okay, they design a framework for something and they can't break out of it. They can't innovate because they've got paradigm paralysis. Okay, so in music theory, many teachers teach the letter names of the notes like this. Treble clef, right? And they go, these are the spaces, and they give you a rhyme. We all got taught like this. F-A-C-E, and they say, remember face, F-A-C-E, those are the spaces, okay? And then they say, these are the lines. Every good boy deserves fudge or Fanta or whatever you want, okay? And then they go to the bass clef and they do the same thing, spaces, lines, and you end up with 4 rhymes. Now, as a kid, I was fascinated by all these stories. The boy deserves fudge, and then face, and then all cows eat grass, and then I started making up my own rhymes, and eventually, I had all these rhymes, but I couldn't remember how the stories went because I was young and impressionable. But anyway, I learned them, eventually get to the test, treble clef, every good boy, bang shebang, right answer, the rhymes work. That's the paradigm. And then you want to go to the next step with your class and you say, so what is this note? And they say, I don't know. Didn't even know there was a note there. And they say, and what about this note? And what about this note? And what about this note? Or whatever. And they say, what is that? And they say, well, it's this. It just carries on. And they say, how does it carry on? You say, well, I'm going to show you now. And it gets very confusing. And they say, what are the rhymes? And there's no rhyme. We started with rhymes. Why can't we have another rhyme? Well, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so wouldn't this be a better way to teach it? F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and then F, G, A, B, C, and so on, D, E. So you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and after 7 letters, the alphabet repeats. So wherever you are, you go along and you repeat. F to E, F to E, and so on. Why do you need the rhymes? Paradigm paralysis. Why not break out of the paradigm initially? Here's another way of doing it. This is the easiest way to do it. Here's a C, here's a C, and here's a C. C, D, C, D, C, D, C, D, E, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, right? So, great example of paradigm paralysis. And this is also what is fascinating about music theory. And I love music theory. I used to hate it at school. I love it now. It is a system which teaches us to think, and it also shows up the difficulties and the complexities of the Western academic tradition, as opposed to things like the oral tradition, right? So many continents way back were working perfectly well on oral tradition, and along came the Western academic tradition guys and said, no, we need to write it down. We need to put it in a library. We need to codify it. So watch this. That's a C. Music is sound, right? If you play that, it sounds that note. It sounds like a C. But on paper, you can write it as a D double flat, and you can write it as a B sharp. So on paper, it can be written 3 different ways. So the nice example of lateral thinking, right? Lateral being, you can have parallel concepts or do it different ways and get the same answer. But music is sound. Music is not symbols. If you hold up a piece of sheet music and you say to your kids, what is this? They'll say it's music. Well, put it next to your ear, you can't hear it. It's another example of paradigm paralysis. They've got stuck in the paradigm that the only way to music is through these symbols which we have written down, and you must know the symbols to play music. Rubbish. Branford Marsalis said, one of the great jazz musicians, brother of Wynton Marsalis, said, you take your instrument, you hear the other musician, you copy what the other musician plays, and that is the direct path. So that is almost like an oral tradition. So just interesting, right? Just something I thought about this morning and something to think about. Don't get paradigm paralysis. It can happen in many areas in your life.